Hello all. So this is GATE preparation 2021 class on control system. So this is AICTE sponsored Prerna Center for SC/ST student at Vidya Prashant Kamal Nayan Bajaj Institute of Engineering and Technology, Baramati. I am Devidas Kushnure, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, VPKBIT, Baramati. So today's topic of discussion is control system. In that we are going to discuss about signal flow graph. In last lecture we have been discussed about Mason's gain formula that will help us to find out the signal flow graph of the given system or the closed loop transfer function of the given system with the help of signal flow graph. Okay, so that signal flow graph can be represented with the help of Mason's gain formula so that we can get overall transfer function of the system, and that is called as closed loop transfer function, C of S by R of S. The simple formula is summation of I is equals to 1 to n pi into delta I divided by delta, where n is the number of forward paths starting from 1 to n. Pi is the gain of the ith forward path. Delta I is the determinant of the forward path, ith forward path, and delta is called a system determinant. So we have seen how it is going to be calculated. So delta is going to be calculated using, this is determinant, so it is calculated using 1 minus in bracket sum of all individual loop gains plus sum of product of all the gains of two loops, they are not touching to each other, minus 3 non-touching loops, sum of gain product of 3 non-touching loop, and so on and so forth. Okay, and delta I is related with ith forward path. So delta, the part which is not touching to that particular forward path, then delta I is equals to 1. Otherwise we will get 1 minus the part which is touching to the forward path, or the loop which is touching to the forward path. So 1 minus that loop, and that is what delta I. So using this formula we can directly calculate the overall transfer function of the system without doing much calculation, just like in the block diagram algebra. We don't need to bother about the rules. We just need to know what is the gain formula, and we can easily calculate overall transfer function of the system. Okay, so using this, these are the steps which we have to follow for calculating the overall transfer function of the system. So this is the gain formula. So where we need to calculate Pi, delta I, and delta that we have to calculate. So we should know Pi, delta I, and delta. So for calculating Pi, delta I, and delta, what we have to do, so this is what the systematic procedure or steps which we have to follow to calculate the transfer function of the system. So first of all, we have to confirm the number of forward paths in the signal flow graph, and we have to calculate gain of each forward path. Okay, that is called as Pi. Let's say I is equals to 4, then we will get P1, P2, P3, P4, and so on. Right. So we have to calculate gain of the forward paths. Then we have to calculate all loop transfer function, or we have to calculate gain of the individual loops. Okay, gain of the individual loops we have to calculate in the second step. Then we have to calculate gain of the two non-touching loops. Okay, product of gain of two non-touching loops. Then we have to calculate 3 non-touching loops, and so on. Okay, if you have higher non-touching loops, we have to consider. So this procedure we have to follow. If you don't have the non-touching loops, then we have to stop the process here only by calculating individual loops. If we do not have 2 non-touching, 3 non-touching loops, so we have to stop here and we have to follow the next step. Right? So it is not necessary that key in every problem we will have 2 non-touching and 3 non-touching loops. Okay. So accordingly, we have to take this step 3 and 4 if we are having non-touching parts or non-touching loops in the signal flow graph. Fine. Then after we have to calculate delta. Once we have this parts, then we can get delta from this step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so on. So delta can be calculated using the formula which is given, and that formula is depending upon the individual loops, non-touching loops, right? So we can calculate delta. Once we have delta, that means we know the denominator of the transfer function. So if we calculate delta, that means we know the denominator. Now we have to calculate then delta I, which is the portion of delta not touching to the forward path I, right? Delta I is nothing but the portion of the delta or the loops which are not touching to that particular path, ith forward path, then that is called as delta I. So the delta I we need to calculate for the P, how many forward paths we have. So if we have 4 forward paths, then we can get delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, delta 4. So delta 1 is related with first forward path, delta 2 is related with second forward path, so delta 3 is third forward path, and so on, right? So for every forward path we have to calculate delta I, right? And after calculating all these things, we have to put in the formula. So we have to expand this formula depending upon the value of n, small n, that is called as number of forward paths. Let's say we have 2 forward paths, so expansion will be p1 delta 1 plus p2 delta 2 divided by delta, right? So that expansion we need to know. So by following this procedure, we can get the transfer function very easily. Let's say this is what the problem we have. We have to calculate the overall transfer function of the system, that is C of S by R of S or C by R, that we need to calculate, and this is the signal flow graph given to us. Now decide how many forward paths we can have. So forward path means path starting from input and it will end at output in a forward direction. So that path is called as forward path. So in this case, we can see there are 2 forward paths. One is 1 G1 G4, G2 1 and 1. So input to output we have one of the forward path, G1, G2 and G4. So this is first forward path. Second forward path is 1 G1 G4. You can see again we have a forward direction, that is G3, 1, 1 and C. So G1, G3, G4 is second forward path. So there are 2 forward paths. Apart from that, we do not have any forward path. So in this case, we have 2 forward paths. So our expansion of the formula will be like this. P1 delta 1, the summation is going to be expanded for n. So value of small n is equals to 2 because we have 2 forward paths. So expansion for P1 and P2. So P1 delta 1 plus P2 delta 2 divided by delta. So now our job is to calculate P1, P2. So we know P1, P2, gain of the forward paths. Then we have to calculate delta 1, delta 2, and we need to calculate delta. So we will try to calculate delta. So for calculating delta, we should know the loops, right? So then we have to calculate loops. So individual loop we have to check how many individual loops we have. So you can see G1, G4 and H1. So G1, G4 and H1 is one of the loop. You can see here loop is what? Closed path, which is starting from a particular node and the path is going to be terminated at the same node. So that is what the closed path, closed loop. So G1, G4, H1 is the closed path, right? Then we have the second loop. You can see here minus of G1, G2, G4, H2. So this is H2. So G1, G4, G2 back to the same node, that is the closed path. So minus H2. So this is minus sign. So G1, G2, G4 into H2. We can have third loop. You can see G1, G4, G3, and the same path is going to be terminated at the node where it was started. So this is one of the loop, G1, G4, G3, G1, G4, G3 into minus of H2. So this is negative sign, which is H2. Okay. So that is what the individual loop. Now we have to check whether we have 2 non-touching loops. 2 non-touching loops means the loops which does not have the common node. If there is no common node between the 2 loops, then we can say that the 2 loops are non-touching to each other. Now if you look at the signal flow graph, so all the loops are somewhere touching or they have some common nodes. If you look at the loop number 1, G1, G4, H1, so you can see we have G1 and G4, which is common part. So these L1 and L2 are they are touching to each other because they have a common node. You can see L1 and L3. So you can see G1, G4, again we have G1, G4 common. So that means these nodes are common between L1 and L3. So they are touching loops. Okay, they are not non-touching loops, they are touching loops. Or you can check L2 and L3, again we have a common part. So H2 is common. So you can see there is a common part. So we don't have the non-touching part. So all the loops are touching with each other. So we don't need to go ahead for calculating non-touching parts. So we have to stop the finding out loops from this problem, and we have to move ahead to calculate the delta. So delta is going to be like this. Now delta is defined in a simplest way because we do not have the next part, 2 non-touching loops, 3 non-touching loops, we do not have. So your delta is going to be restricted here. So 1 minus sum of all individual loop gains, right? So we have to put all the gains here, summation of the loop gains, you can see. So 1 minus L1 plus L2 plus L3. So we have to solve this bracket, we can get like this. So if you multiply with negative sign, these parts are going to be positive. So we have been calculated denominator of the transfer function. So this denominator, if I equate denominator equals to 0, that is going to be characteristics equation of your system. So we have been calculated denominator of closed loop transfer function. Now we have to calculate, we know P1, P2, we know delta. Now we have to calculate delta 1 and delta 2. Delta 1 is related with the forward path P1. So this is forward path P1. So it is starting from this point and it will move directly to the output. So this is forward path. So now we have to check 1 minus the loops which is not touching to this forward path. So we have to check whether any loop is non-touching to the forward path or not touching to the forward path. So almost, so this is the loop, one of the loop which is going to touch the forward path here. So this is one more loop. You can see it is also touching to the forward path. This is third loop that is also going to touch the forward path at these points. So there is no loop which is not touching to this forward path. So hence the value of delta is 1 minus 0, because none of the part from this or none of the loops are non-touching to this part. So all the loops are touching to this part. So we can say that it is 1 minus 0. So delta 1 is 1. Now likewise we have to calculate delta 2. Now consider path 2. Part 2 is like this, G3 and up to C. So in this case, we have to check whether is there any loop which is not touching to this path. So again, almost all the loops. So this is touching here, this path is touching here. So all the loops are touching to second path as well. So it is 1 minus 0. So delta 2 is also 1. So we have to put everything in the expanded formula. So this is P1 delta 1 plus P2 delta 2 divided by delta. So we can get the transfer function like this by keeping all the values in this function. So this is the simplest way how we can decide the transfer function of the system on the basis of signal flow graph, right? So this is one more problem. Now let's say this is the problem which we have to find out R of output Y of S by R of S. So that is what the closed loop function. Now we have to check, first step we have to check how many forward paths we can have, and then we have to calculate gains. So you can see there are two forward paths. One is going in this direction, G1, G2, G3, G4. So that is first forward path. Second is G3, G5, G6, G7 and G8, that is second forward path. So there are two forward paths. Apart from that, we do not have any forward path. Now calculate all the loops, individual loops. So you can see L1 which is G2H2, L2 that is G3H3, that is second loop, starting and ending at the same point. L3 you can see here, L3, L4 you can see here, L4, but we cannot take this as the loop because the directions are not going to be matched. We cannot take this as a loop. right? So wherever we have a matching directions, that we have to consider. Fine. So there are 4 loops. Apart from that, we have to now check whether we have non-touching parts or not, whether we have non-touching loops or not. So you can see there are 4 pairs, 2 non-touching loops. So L1, which is non-touching with L3 and L4. So L1, L3, L1, L4, we can have L1, L3 and L1, L4. We have 2 pairs of 2 non-touching loops. Fine. Then this L2, L3 and L2, L4, L2, L3 and L2, L4. So again we have a pair. So there are 4 pairs, 2 non-touching loops. Also it has, is there any 3 non-touching loops? 3 parts are non-touching with each other. So we do not have. So let's say if we consider L1, so L2 is touching, L3 and L4 are non-touching loops. So these are not, this L3 and L4 are touching here. So we do not have 3 non-touching loops. We have 2 non-touching loops, right? So we can write L1, L2, we can write the gain of the first pair, second pair, third pair and fourth pair, so on. So next part we don't need to calculate. Now calculate delta. Now delta is going to be like this. 1 minus sum of gain product of individual loops plus sum of gain product of 2 non-touching loops. So we have to put here. So this is denominator of your function, right? Likewise, we have to calculate delta 1. So delta 1 is related with path P1. Now check which loops are not touching to this path. So these 2 are touching, but the loops which are on the upper side, they are not touching to this forward path. So we can write 1 minus L3 plus L4. Okay, fine. These 2 are non-touching to the first forward path. First forward path was this one, G1, G2, G3. So these 2 loops are non-touching to this path. So it is 1 minus this part. This part we have to subtract. So that is what your delta 1, right? Likewise, we have to calculate delta 2. Delta 2 is related with second forward path. So now you can check this L1 and L2 are non-touching to the second path. So we can subtract it from the 1. So 1 minus L1 plus L2. So it is going to be delta 2. Now we have all the terms we have to put in the formula. So P1 delta 1 plus P2 delta 2 by delta. So we have been kept all these values in y of s by r of s, or in this expansion. Now we can have this. So by solving this, we can get the transfer function. You can solve it further if you want. You can solve it, or otherwise you can just judge the closed loop transfer function from this expansion. Okay, this is one more part. You can see how many loops and how many forward paths are there. So there is only one forward path. You can see r of s to c of s. Otherwise, we do not have any forward path in the function. So you can have only one forward path, G1, G2, G3, G4, G5. Right. Now we have to take individual loops. So L1, L2, L3, L4. So you can see this is one of the loop, second loop, this is third loop, and this is fourth loop, this bigger one. Right. So this is G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, G8, and back to G2. Right. So that is what the fourth loop. Now 2 non-touching loops. So you can see L1 and L2 are non-touching to each other. They are not touching with each other. Okay. L1 and L3 are non-touching with each other. So L1, L2 are non-touching. L1 and L3 is non-touching. So where L2 and L3 is also non-touching. They are non-touching with each other. So we have 2 non-touching loops. Now we have to check whether we have 3 non-touching loops. So you can see this is the loop 1, loop 2, and loop 3. These 3 are non-touching with each other. So we have one combination L1, L2, L3. There are 3 non-touching loops. So now we have to check 4 non-touching loops. So we do not have 4 non-touching loops. So we have to stop and we have to put in the formula delta. So 1 minus first individual loops plus 2 non-touching loops minus 3 non-touching loops, right? And now we have to calculate delta 1. So delta 1 is what? 1 minus the loops which is not touching to the first or the forward path 1. So we have only one forward path. So this loop is non-touching. So it is G7. H4 is going to be subtracted. Okay. Fine. So we have to put in the formula. We can get the closed loop function. Now this is one more. This is called as self loop, which is starting from a point and it will end at the same point. So this is called as self loop. So you can see the expansion P1 delta 1, P2 delta 2, P3 delta 3. That means it has 3 forward paths. Okay. Number of forward paths are 3. You can see this is one of the path. First, this is second path, and this is, you can see there are one more path from this side. Starting from here, this is third path, right? So we can have first path, second path, and third path, right? So path 1, path 2, and path 3. Now we have to calculate individual loops. So you can see there are 10 loops. Okay, we have to find it out. So there are 10 loops in the formula. Loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, loop 4, loop 5, loop 6. Okay, this is loop 6, A7, A7. Loop 7, you can see from this point, this one and this one is loop 7, A42, A34, A22, A42, A34, A23, right? Again we have L8, you can see A65, A76 and A67, A65, A76 and A67, right? So you can have one more loop. Likewise we have L9, so A72, it is starting from A72, so A72, you can see here A72, this side, this one, this one, this one, this is end, right? L10 again we have the same. So in this way we have to check all the possible loops, then we have to calculate the combination of two non-touching loops. Sorry, two non-touching loops. Okay, you can see there are many more combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15 two non-touching loops, right? And then we have to find out 3 non-touching loops and so on. Again, we have to put in the formula. Now we will see one more part of the signal flow graph, how we can convert signal flow graph, block diagram into signal flow graph to find out closed loop transfer function. So if you solve the problem using block diagram reduction, you will get same solution with the help of signal flow graph. Okay, your answer remains same, but okay, so signal flow graph can be, any block diagram can be converted into signal flow graph, but reverse is not true. Any signal flow graph cannot be converted into block diagram. Okay, reverse is not true. It is possible to convert the block diagram into signal flow graph, and we can solve the problem using gain formula or Mason's gain formula using signal flow graph. That is possible. So let's say this is my signal flow graph. How it can be converted into, this is block diagram. We have to convert this block into signal flow graph, and we have to find out its closed loop transfer function, right? So you can see how it is going to be converted. So all the nodes which we have to consider in the signal flow graph are nothing but the variables of the block diagram. So you can see R of S is the input, E of S is the variable at this summing point, X1 is the variable at this summing point, X2 is the variable at The next summing point x3 is the variable at this takeoff point, and output is C of S. Right? Now we have to join the lines by considering the gain of this particular path in that particular direction. Right? So we have to connect R and E of S. Right? R and E of S. So at this particular point, how many signals are there? There are 1, 2 incoming signal and 1 outgoing signal. Right? So incoming signal is R of S. So it has gain equals to 1 R of S. Second incoming signal is coming from C of S. It has gain equals to H3, and this is summing, that is negative feedback. So this gain is going to be minus of H3. Okay. Now you can see the at second summing point, how many signals are there? There are 2 signals. One is coming from this first summing point. It has gain equals to G1. So coming from U of S, so gain is G1. And second signal which is coming from X3, it has gain equals to minus of H2 because it is negative feedback. Now we have to join the signal at X2. So you can see X2 has 2 signal. One is coming from C of S. It has negative feedback, negative signal, so a minus of H1, and from X1 to X2 we have G2. Fine. So again we can connect X2 to X3. We have only one signal. It has gain equals to G3. X3 to C of S, we have gain G4. Now you can see this is simple signal flow graph, and we can now apply the same technique to find out the closed loop transfer function. So without using the block diagram rules, we can convert it into signal flow graph, and we can easily represent its closed loop transfer function. Fine. So we can easily find it out. Now we can see how many forward paths we have. We have only one forward path. How many individual loops we have, that we have to check. So you can see this is the formula. So we have 3 individual loops. Okay, by solving this, we have only one forward path. So delta 1 is equals to 1 because all the parts are touching with this. Fine. And if I put everything in, this is P1 gain delta 1 1, P1 delta 1 divided by delta. So delta is like this. Fine. So by solving it, we can get delta in this way. Fine. Okay. So this is one of the loop, G3 G4 minus of H1. So G3 G4 H1. So minus minus is going to be plus, because 1 minus this bracket. Fine. So next is G2 G3 minus of H2. G2 G3 minus of H2, minus minus is going to be plus. Then this G1 G2 G3 G4 minus of H3. So minus minus plus. So G1 G2 G3 G4 H3. So that is what your delta 1 into the bracket. Fine. So in a simplest way, within a step, we can get this formula. So once we solve in the gate examination, we don't need to calculate everything. We have to do it in a rough very quickly, and we have to come on the conclusion. Or if you know the, if you have the options in the problem, then we can easily judge the option by comparing with the block in the signal flow graph, and we can come to the conclusion very quickly. So you need to do practice more and more to solve it orally. You can solve it orally, right? By just doing judgment of the, or by taking the, by doing observation, you can see what should be the delta, what should be the, how many forward paths we have, so that how many terms we can get in the numerator, how many terms we can get in the denominator, that we can judge by observation. Okay, and we can quickly come to the conclusion. And so this is one more example how it is going to be converted. So R of S, U of S, X1, X2, Y1, Y2, and C of S. So at E of S, we have 2 signals. One is coming from C of S and one is coming from R of S. Right. So it has no gain, that, and this is negative, so gain of this path is unity, and that unity is negative, right? So -1. See, from U of s to x1, so x1 has 4 signal associated, so one is coming from this E of s, that is negative -1, one is coming from y1, that is -1, and one is coming from y2, that is +1, right? This is positive. And from x1 to y1 we have a signal which has gain equals to 1, right? Likewise, we have 3 signals associated with x2. One is from E of s, that is positive, we don't have any sign, that means signal is positive. X2, y1, from y1 we have one of the signal, that is -1, from y1, that is -1, from we have signal from y2 which is -1, y2 which is -1, and we have one outgoing signal from x2 to y2 has gain equals to g2, right? So all are combined at C of s, so we can get y1 y2 combined here, which has gain equals to 1. So this is what the signal flow graph, and you can solve it, fine. So there are 7 loops. Okay, so you just do it by yourself, because it is not a big deal to calculate and find out all the loops, because you know the concept of signal flow graph now. So this is, there are 7 loops, there are 2 non-touching loops. Okay, these 3 pairs, fine. Then we have to put in the formula, so that will be your delta by solving it. 4 forward paths. Okay, so delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, delta 4 we need to calculate, and then at last we have the formula. We have to put, expand this, and we have to put everything here, and by solving this, by keeping all this value in the formula, by solving all this we can get a function like this, a closed loop transfer function, right? So this is the way how we have to solve. So in gate examination we have to do the reverse engineering. What we have to do, we have to see the output formula, and we have to separate out that output formula in terms of delta p1, delta 1, and we have to check whether that is matching with the problem or not. Okay, if the one of the option is matching, then we have to take that particular option. Rather than going in a forward way, you can go in a reverse way, so that you can quickly reach at the solution. Okay, you have to just, I'll just tell you one simple example, previous example I will show you. See, this is simple example. If you know this, okay, in option you know this answer, so you can see, so there are 1 minus this part, so we can rearrange this, so we can take the sign. So this is going to be g1, g2, g3, g4, this is positive, that means 1 minus, so minus minus terms are going to be positive. So we can say that this is one of the loop, this is second loop, this is third loop. We do not have 2 non-touching loop, because none of the part is here which has combination, right? So we have no non-touching loop. So in numerator you can see only one term, that means the diagram has only one forward path, right? And we do not have the term delta, because if we have a delta, so p1 delta 1 should be one bracket here, so that we can get number of terms in the numerator. So we have only one term, that means definitely the value of delta is 1, delta 1 is 1, and it has only one forward path, right? So we have to check in the problem, or check in the problem, g1, g2, g3, g4 is their forward path or not. So we can check g1, g2, g3, g4 is the forward path. Okay, so all the loops are touching to it, that means delta 1 is 1. So we can see there are 3 loops, so we have to separate it out. So these are the 3 loops, but they are negative, but negative 1 minus this part is going to be positive, so this is what the problem, or this is what the signal flow graph which we can extract from this output function, right? So in exam, you know this one, you know the signal flow graph, you know these answers. Okay, there are 4 options and we have to tick proper or correct answer. So we can just judge the answer first, we can check the answer, and we have to do the reverse engineering and we have to find out what should be the signal flow graph so that you can quickly reach on the solution. Otherwise, you can follow the straightforward path which has been mentioned. In a procedural way, you can go find out forward path, find out the expand the formula, then find out single non-touching, 2 non-touching, and 3 non-touching, and so on, and find out delta, delta 1, delta 2, that is called as delta I. Put in the formula and just check whether your answer is matching with the options or not. That we do generally, right? But if we reach quickly on the solution, so we have to do reverse engineering. Fine. So that is what. So there will be at least one problem in the examination, maybe on signal flow graph or block diagram. If you know the block diagram, so instead of solving block diagram, quickly convert that block diagram into signal flow graph and check the answers, whether one of the or any of the answer is matching with the signal flow graph which we have been obtained from the block diagram. If it is matching, then you can directly tick mark that option without solving the block diagram. Right? That is possible. So this is the way how signal flow graph can be solved. So this is one more problem. You can see block diagram is converted into signal flow graph. Okay, and it has been solved. So there are number of variables which we have, and we can connect the signal. They are coming to that particular variable and signal outgoing from that particular point. Okay, so converting block diagram into signal flow graph is very easy job, but it is not possible always, because the signal flow graph can be represented. It is not a unique solution, right? One can draw the signal flow graph in a different way. Okay, and it can be solved. Answer remains same, but the representation of signal flow graph for the particular block diagram may be different. Fine. So signal flow graph is not a unique solution. Every block diagram can be represented in terms of a signal flow graph, but it is not true that every signal flow graph can be represented in terms of block diagram, because one can represent signal flow graph by their own way, whereas your transfer function remain as it is. And the second property is that the signal flow graph is the technique which can be applicable for linear systems only. If your system is linear, then and then signal flow graph, the solution using signal flow graph is possible. So it is applicable for linear circuits only. Fine. So again, the way is same. We have to find out the forward path. So in this case, we have 2 forward paths. It has been converted R, C, where we have a D, E. In between, we have 2 more points. So it has been considered here, and we have to join the signals according to the direction mentioned in the block diagram. Okay. So this is one more block diagram, how it has been converted. So you can see there are input, output combination R and C. So at this particular point, 2 signals are incoming. One is R and second is coming from C. So second is coming from C, because here we have a difference. So it has been considered as 1. So these are called as dummy nodes. It has gain equals to 1, and dummy nodes can be added either at input or output. It cannot be added in between. So if you add in between the signal which has gain equals to 1, your transfer function may be changed. Okay, your answer may be different. So this 1 can be added either at input side or output side. It won't affect on your answer, right? So there are 2 signals. Now from this to this, we have one signal which has gain equals to 1, and second signal which is coming from this point, right? It has been taken here. So it is coming from this point. So second signal, fine. So in this way, this is here, it is coming from this side, which is positive. So likewise, we have to join all the blocks, all the signals in the manner so that its answer or the nature should not get affected. We have to maintain the directions of the signal properly and gain of the signals properly, right? And after that, we can solve using a usual procedure, find out forward paths, find out individual loops. These are the individual loops. Then find out the value of delta I. So there are two forward paths, so we can have delta 1 and delta 2, both are 1 because all the paths are touching, all the feedback loops are touching with both the paths. So it is equals to 1. So delta, we have to put all this value in the delta, so we can get delta, and this is what your output function. Okay, CU by R. Fine. So today we shall stop here. Right. Thank you very much for attending the session.